Hey, I'm Pranay, the CEO and co-founder of Windsor. Windsor is sort of like a Twitter feed for user activity. Using the data that third-party tools produce, Windsor shows you every event for every user on your platform. Modern companies don't just build everything they need in-house. They rely on third-party tools to function well. But as a developer, trying to navigate each tool requires learning a whole new interface or API. Also, trying to relate events across multiple sources, that's nearly impossible. We found developers in remote shells across 6 separate terminal panes to downloading CSVs in the browser and manually stitching them together with bash scripts. That's kind of insane. It also means non-technical folks can't handle tech incidents. They need to wait till an engineer can write a few grep queries and report back while they're already incredibly busy with their work schedules. So Windsor fixes all of this with a single, incredibly easy to use interface that lets you see every event for every user. So it's just like a Twitter feed. This helps you move incredibly fast when debugging issues or responding to support requests and incidents. We already have companies finding new issues they didn't even know existed, and Windsor is now the first place they look when a user reports an issue. Analytics and monitoring tools do a good job of showing you your metrics, but Windsor is different. It shows you users and their stories, because your users are more than just numbers. After you connect a few services, Windsor intelligently scans events and stitches the data together so you can find what you need using what makes sense to you, like a user's name, their email address, a phone number, a user ID, or something else. And Windsor is free for startups today because we want to help you make something that your users actually want. Innovative companies like DoorDash, InVision, and Indiegogo have already built these timelines internally, so we're building it for everyone else. It's basically like a Twitter feed with every event for every user. We're backed by YC, and we have a generous free tier to help you in your next project. To get started, check out our website or reach out. Cheers.
So to confirm my understanding of this, the person who would adopt Windsor is the engineering or the product team, probably at something like a SaaS company, where the SaaS company has some backend monitoring, backend dashboard to see what a particular user's use of that SaaS company looks like. And this way, you log to their account screen in the backend dashboard, and you see, okay, they made a transaction with us here. They had a customer support ticket in Zendesk where they had this thing. They were affected by this incident, which was logged into our incident monitoring software, et cetera, et cetera.
Precisely.
Got it. What's a great user experience that a customer support team was able to deliver as a result of this?
Yeah, so we actually had a couple of interesting things that we started to expect when we started to launch Windsor initially. And I can just give you like 2 quick stories out of that. The first one was with our first customer, actually. As soon as we onboarded them, they had all of their sources connected. We sort of expected that Windsor would first be useful to them when their first customer reached out on intercom and told them something was broken. Turns out that the first thing they saw as soon as they connected their services that they were having Stripe transactions failing from days ago. This meant, and their applications actually wasn't handling this. So as far as the user was concerned, they were still providing them the complete service, but they just never realized that the person had failed to pay because of a failed credit card or something like that. And Windsor was what was showing those to them. The next thing we sort of helped with was, again, engagement with users. It was, so a different customer had a SendGrid setup where they would follow up, like do a drip campaign of emails very soon after someone onboarded. And they connected SendGrid to Windsor. And after that, you could actually see every single time an email bounced or an email was dropped or somebody like opened up an email and clicked through the email. Now, while SendGrid already gives you those metrics and aggregates, when a single user reaches out and tells you or asks you a question that you've already sent out in an email, it makes a lot more sense to go look at the timeline and then go like, oh, okay, this email just dropped for this user. It was sort of stuff that people haven't already been able to debug easily. It's things that you wouldn't have logged in your code or you wouldn't have thought of that Windsor is proactively doing for you.
So this is interesting in that to support the Twitter feed inside someone's admin screen, you need to first build a hub of all events, both within the application and in third-party services, which operate sort of under the hood of the application. What's the next thing you can build after you build a Twitter feed? Because it seems like if you're intelligently aggregating all the information on a per user basis, then just echoing those in a time-sorted fashion is probably not the last thing that you can do.
Of course, that was sort of our initial version. It was like we wanted to build a timeline as a base layer for everything else that we can build on top of that. And so we just spent a lot of time talking to our customers, trying to figure out what matters next. And what comes next to Windsor is what we call Windsor people. It's a view where the event isn't the primary entity, but where your users are the primary entity. It's where you get to see a list of all of your users intelligently sorted by what we think are your top customers at the time. The ones that probably had the most issues recently, or the ones that are most likely to churn, or the ones that have like paid you the most money, and we all really grab that information from Stripe or Twilio or Intercom and Sentry. I'll make sure that those give you like high-intent actions that you could take to try to keep those customers involved. And also just look at key metrics that we've already decided that might be important based on sources you connect. This is important for companies because it takes a while for you to set up all these important metrics in a tool like Amplitude or Mixpanel. With Windsor, if you connected Stripe, for instance, then we can already tell you what the lifetime value for a user is because we just pull the data from Stripe. So it's how we view where you get to see every single user and a couple of key metrics for those users and ways to jump into their timeline or interact with them, get notified if one of them needs attention or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So that all sounds great. So how can people that are on the live stream help you out here?
Of course, yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, we launched Windsor just a couple of weeks ago. We have a pretty generous free tier. We're trying to have more people test out the product, see what they love, see what they hate. And so anyone's just free to go to windsor.io, check it out, try out the free tier right now. And if they have any questions or want to upgrade a plan, I'm here to help. And yeah, we're pretty generous.
Awesome. I wish you the best of luck and skill.
Thanks.